The Honourable Phil Goff.
Mr Speaker, can I join with the Deputy Prime Minister on behalf of Labor in expressing our condolences to the people of Singapore and in particular to his family and his son, the current Prime Minister of Singapore, for his passing. Lee Kuan Yew was an extraordinary figure. I remember when he gave a speech on television in 1965 when I think I was a 12-year-old, and he spoke with such power and emotion about why he was taking Singapore out of Malaysia that as a child at that time, decades later, I still remember that as the first political speech that ever impacted on me in that way. I remember the Prime Minister for another reason, Mr Speaker, and that was when I had dinner with Lee Kuan Yew at the Shangri-La Dialogue in 2008. I explained to the then mentor minister that my mother was a great admirer of his. And he looked at me somewhat quizzically and said, why would that be the case? And I explained that in 1977, as a student, having gone 6 years without a haircut, passing through Singapore, I was given my first haircut by the customs officials at the airport as the price of entry. And my mother congratulated him on achieving something that nobody else had been able to do for years before that time. Mr Speaker, there are aspects of Lee Kuan Yew that all of us would immensely admire. He turned a third world country into a first world country with a higher per capita standard of living than we enjoy in this country. He dealt effectively with corruption. He built a first-class education system. He transformed the living standards and grew the GDP of that country 15 times between 1960 and 1980. There was, however, another side to Lee Kuan Yew, which he himself admitted when he was being interviewed in 2010, and that was that he was a very authoritarian figure. He locked up his opponents and he cracked down on the media. And he admitted that he had done some bad things in his time, and that was the other side that, if we were to be fair in our memory of Lee Kuan Yew, that we would also acknowledge. But today in particular, we remember him as a man who was a strong leader, who gave Singapore an influence totally disproportionate to its size and created a better country for his fellow countrymen and women.
Dr. Kennedy.